Welcome everyone to Ask the King's Relationship Podcast. I am Vincent DeLeon King. This is my beautiful wife, Mrs.
Shirley Walker King.
And we are here to talk all things relationships, love, and marriage. Yes.
Yes, because as you know, we, that means he and I, me and him, have been married for over 30 years and counting.
30.
Oosa.
30.
30, y'all. We doing this. So with that experience and exposure and expertise, because we are relationship coaches, we are relationship experts, and we are marriage material that has been made successful. So we're here to talk to you about that.
Marriage material. All right, Miss King. King. Can I call you King?
It's K-I-N-G, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. Miss King. Guys, on this episode of Ask the Kings, we're going to talk about and address how to be present in your marriage, being present. And then we're going to give you guys a few tips on how to do that.
So what exactly does being present in your marriage mean?
Man, we have a few tips here. Being present means being connected with your spouse,
Okay.
your significant other, your wife, your husband, being aware of their needs, their wants, their desires.
Okay. And can you give me an example of being aware of their wants, needs, or desires?
I would say it's some of the little things, as far as if you spoke to them earlier that day and say we were on the phone and you just say, hey man, I'm a little tired today, or my feet are sore, or my body's aching. So guess what? When you come in, I might have some bath water ran for you, or might have you sit on the couch, rub them dogs. Or, we have a couple little gadgets, little machines that massage your feet, or just have you sit on the couch with some wine, put your feet in there and let them massage your feet.
Somebody say wine.
Or some wine. So I think those are some of the little things, and a good example of being aware of your spouse's needs.
Okay, so it means being connected. It means being aware. Do you feel like it also means being committed to the relationship, both during the good and the bad times?
Yeah, I mean that's a big one right there. I mean, because 30 years there's been good and bad, so you don't want nobody who's gonna run away. So was that a fake smile?
No, that was the good.
Oh, okay.
And the bad.
Yeah. So being committed is good and bad. You're gonna have it whether it's 30 years or a year or 6 months. You're gonna have some good and some bad. So that comes with the territory.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
No doubt.
what does that also mean, that you're gonna have your spouse's back no matter what?
Oh yeah, I want that. I want to have that ride or die, that Bonnie and Clyde love.
Ooh. Oh, so you're leaning more on the die side.
I'm just saying, you know how they went out. Do I need to? Let me pull up YouTube right quick. You know how they went out, right?
Hey, we got, so that's like that Michelle and Barack Obama kind of love.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, she probably didn't like it all the time, but she had his back. She had that brother's back. So that's what you want. Somebody who has your back through thick and thin, good and bad. Ride or die, Bonnie and Clyde, off the cliff.
Off the cliff. Okay, so off the cliff.
Hey, we going down together. We gonna go, Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, y'all. I gotta rethink this. I don't think she down like she say she down.
I'm down.
You down? Full life.
Full life. I was trying to think of that movie scene from Malibu's Most Wanted. You ain't down?
Don't even talk about that. Our daughter flipped out. That's her movie.
Now that you know the definition of what it means to be present in your marriage, we actually have some examples and tips for you. So, here we go. Tip number 1.
Yes.
Don't neglect your marriage, relationship, spouse, or significant other. Remember the good times and the bad times. Remember the milestones, because those are things that helped you get to where you are now. So don't forget about the little things. Don't forget about what it took to get get to where you are, because sometimes you really have to go back and pull on that to move forward. Be thankful for what you guys have in each other now. Again, don't worry about the past. People change, relationship change, attitudes change. Just be thankful for where you guys are now. And show them, as well as you tell them, how much you love them and why. Why is important?
To show?
To tell.
It's definitely, I mean, those are just words of affirmation, just to tell, to comfort and reassurance. You know, it's good to hear that on both sides. It's always good to hear those words. A whole nother show, but I didn't grow up hearing that a lot from my mom, but eventually now it's like we don't leave without saying I love you. So I think those things are important to hear on a daily basis.
Yeah, because it takes away from what you, because television, everything has just overwhelmed the I love you. You can I love everything.
Yeah.
So I think when you are able to tell your spouse why you love them, definitely helps your intimacy and your relationship grow. And then you're being honest.
Yes.
Because I've been honest with you from time to time, and I'll be like, I really don't like you right now.
She said that.
But I still loved them.
But she still loved them.
I still loved them. Man, I liked them, but I still loved them. Yeah. And so I think, again, that goes back to where I was just saying, being honest and keep your word. Yeah,
I think that's a big one, especially for the fellas, you know, being honest with your lady and keeping your word, man. If you guys are doing something, if you can't make it, don't make up nothing. Just say what it is, what happened. A phone call, it's best that she hears it from you than somebody else. So, you know, just keep your word.
That part.
Yeah, trust, be honest, it's okay.
So that's tip number 1.
Number 2 is make time for each other. I think that's I always say it's a big one. They're all big ones. Spending time with your spouse, doing things you guys like to do together. Of course, we spoke about playing basketball. We like to play. Not as active as we used to be, but we'll go and shoot around. That's something that we still enjoy doing. Talk a little trash. You know, you see that?
I didn't know if I needed to reach over and help him out if he was having a mild
seizure
almost broke
her ankle.
Or he was trying to shake and bake.
Boy. All right. Yeah. Picnics in the park. I mean, being spontaneous. My baby, she's good for that. Very good for that. The lake. Go to the lake. Fire up a grill or something, you know.
Invite yourself to somebody else who's fired up a grill.
Hey.
We've done that on our bike rides.
Get it to that way. Movie nights. Bowling. With some axe throwing. We did that. As long as it's together. Wasn't all that fond of that, but trying new things. Archery. I actually enjoyed that. You know, the bow and arrow. Tennis. Hot air balloon, jump out of plane.
I'm not going to jump out of plane, but I'll film you. Somebody's got to tell the story. Yeah, when he jumped out, he looked happy.
Yeah, I want to do that. I don't want to bungee jump, but I would like to jump out of a plane. I would like to do that. And fishing, that's my thing. But she'll tag along sometime. You know, she will tag along, but that's like one of my
Fishing
hobbies.
is like an exclamation mark for Vincent, a period or a question. It just ends his sentence. Fishing,
that's it. I don't need to say nothing else. For all the fishermen out there, you know what I'm talking about.
And again, those hobbies don't have to necessarily be your hobby, but showing interest in the hobby that they do.
Yeah.
And then showing interest in the hobby that you do. So you guys have to be mutual about that.
Right.
So yes, even though fishing is not my sport, I know it's his. So I make sure that he is comfortable when he goes. And sometimes if he's going fishing, I'm like, cool, I'll do some laps around the lake if, you're going to be fishing. But again, just figuring out how to spend that time together.
But I'm like, don't talk to me. When you lap me, just keep on going. I'm fishing. You can say conversation. Okay, anyway.
Yeah,
the point is...
And what he said is, babe, can you go get that bucket out the truck? I left that one.
Yeah,
babe, can you go get this other thing out there? I left that. It's going to be under the seat in the back passenger, but be careful when you stick your hand in there because I don't want you to get stuck by...
the point is, guys, making memories. You guys are together. Focus on making good memories, okay? Create your own happiness, whatever it is you like to do. If you skipping rocks in the lake, that's what y'all like to do together, then do that.
Playing marbles. When was the last time you played marbles?
I couldn't even tell you.
I would say when was the last time we played jacks, but we played jacks here for
We
did that with Tracy and John.
Yes,
they thought I was playing. I'm like, I got some jacks.
Yeah, she broke
got
out
some
the jacks,
hula hoops, double dutch. What you want?
Again, the point is
roller skating.
Okay, we went roller skating.
Yes, we did.
When we do that?
That was right before the world shut down.
Okay, it's a
late
skating rink up the
2019.
street from us, like literally 5 minutes, and hadn't did that in a while, but it was fun. We got a little video. Maybe we can play that one of these episodes. But yeah, whatever you guys like to do together, making them memories and laughing and smiling and enjoying each other. Yeah.
And then that leads us to number 3. I put up 4. Number 3.
She from Cali, y'all. She from Cali.
That leads us to number 3, which means that you pay attention and show them that you hear them, that you understand them, and that you are willing to work with them through any difficult times that you guys may be having. Staying together through the good and the bad. It goes without saying, you're not going to be married this long, 30 years, without having a third party in there helping us guide through this. We've gone to counseling. We've seen therapists. We've had relationship coaches as well. That's how we knew that this was something that we could do in turn, because we were on both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, and we actually saw, it's like we went to a counselor, and it was funny because we actually kind of got a kick out of it. We were like, no, not this one. So we went to see another. We got one that we were comfortable with.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? So went to the counselor. Didn't get a good vibe. Went to another one. But it's okay. You know, that's what we felt we needed to do.
You have to find a third party that fits both of you guys.
Right.
Because you don't want to be in a situation where, and we find this more likely with the men, so I'm going to try and say this as gentle as possible.
Be careful now.
Because the guys are always like, I feel like they're taking your side. That's because my side is the right side. Okay, no, it's not. But you just want to make sure that you find someone who you guys are both comfortable with, but don't let that be an excuse that, oh no, I don't like this one, I don't like this one. You keep looking, and now we've been to 4 people and we don't like them. If you've been to 4 people and you don't like them, then you're looking for an excuse not to like them. Mm-hmm. Because if they're trained and they're certified in what they're supposed to do as far as counseling or therapy or coaching, then they should be able to guide you through there. And there may be some kinks and torques where they may not fit, and that's okay. Right. The reason why one of them didn't fit with us is because she had cats in the office.
Yeah, that was one of the issues.
I'm not about to sit up here and be in a counseling therapy session with Scooby walking across my lap.
Yeah, and she kind of spoke more about herself than it's like, okay, ma'am. Yeah, she was kind of talking about herself the whole time. Okay. But that didn't fit us, so we kind of went with someone else. So, yeah.
And Vincent knew that it wasn't going to work right away because he knew my body language. And he also knows my love language, which is the next thing. It's still in part number 3, is to pay attention to their language. Pay attention to their body language, their verbal language, so that you get to know your partner. You know when your partner's uncomfortable about something.
Yeah, definitely. With anything, anytime we're doing something, I can tell, yep, this is not going to work. I'll kind of watch her, and then, y'all can soften it up, or we're going to do something else. So I can tell by her body language, her facial features, movement, lips, nose, eyes, and ears. I can tell.
Don't let the nose start. Boy, I'm telling you, one eyebrow can go up and we're still okay. We're okay when the one eyebrow go up, but when the nose start going, or don't let the nose or up the lip sweat right here. Woo, I'm trying to tell you, it's not going to be good for the home team. But that goes to say is to make sure you know their love language. Why do you want to know their love language? Is because that way you can communicate with them in the language that they understand. And the 5 love languages are...
we have... I'm going to get this wrong now. words of affirmation, quality time, gifts, receiving gifts, physical touch. Yeah.
Which is Vincent's love language.
Yeah. Rub on me, baby. And acts of service. And that's actually Shirley's love language.
Yes, that is my love language now, and that's something I think is very important for people to realize too, is that your love language and communication language can change over time depending on the length of the marriage, depending on the circumstances of the marriage, depending on the age range of the people in the marriage, because trust me, after 45, 46, it's going to change for her in one way or the other, so you better learn them.
I'm not there yet. I'm only like 40 something, 2, 3, 4 something.
Plus
like
10. Okay.
Guys, is picking up the slack in areas where you notice your spouse might be overwhelmed. That could be groceries. She might have had a rough day. And that's going both ways, you know what I mean? Getting the car clean for the fellas, because you know we're going to keep our ride clean. So if your lady's car is filthy, get it cleaned up. You don't want your woman riding a dirty car, riding dirty. Help her with the household chores, the kids, if you have kids activities. When our daughter was young, I had no problem with taking her to her doctor's appointments, anything that needed to be done. You know, I didn't see anything wrong with that. It wasn't like it was on her to do that. So I think that's important for you to just kind of jump in where you need it. Yeah.
Would you say picking up the slack also means that you already said you do chores around the house, but you also know when to say no? Because a lot of us have outside organizations or churches that we belong to, and everybody's pulling us from, left to right, north, south, east, and west.
Yeah, and I think if you don't, maybe your spouse need to jump in and say, hey, you're doing a little too much, but, I would think, you need to look at your family needs to come first before all of that. Well, yeah, you might get caught up in that, doing a little bit extra.
We all do.
Yeah, you're doing a little extra, so that person might say, hey, baby, you kind of giving them too many hours over there. You neglected some stuff over here, so, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's fair, because a person who is a giver, I've always said I can give as long as it doesn't take away. So I can give to you or an organization as long as it doesn't take away from me or my family. So once it starts taking away from your household or your family, it might be time to revisit some things. But you have to approach it in a caring way and not a selfish way.
Yeah.
Okay. So then tip number 5 is one of my faves. It is get creative about your date night, your couple's outings, or family time. Because we know as when you're a young family, sometimes your date night will include the kids. If that's the case, it has to be, then just get creative with it. But when you do have your time alone, you want to make sure that you are talking about the things that you want to do as a couple. You want to talk about things like you want to take a trip to Tahiti and just lay in the bungalow over the water and see the fish swimming as you sleep.
You say fish?
I did say fish. See how I got his attention? Now I'm going to get a trip to Tahiti to be in a bungalow because he wants to go fishing. However it works, it works. Because as I said earlier, you heard Vincent say he wants to not bungee jump, but jump out of a plane. He can jump out the plane. I'm going to be on the ground filming it because someone has to tell the story.
That's right.
So, yeah, okay. But going back to, did y'all see how I slid Tahiti in there? And I got his attention because he said fish. So trust me, on the next vacation when he's going to be looking at Tahiti. I'm just saying. You also want to make sure that you take time to cuddle with your spouse. You want to take time to get to know them intimately. You want to make sure that you get that romance in, because romance and sex starts outside of the bedroom. Y'all see how I'm leaning in the camera? I'm about to fall on my chair trying to make sure y'all get this part. Romance and sex starts outside of the bedroom. with tip number 5 with date night, get creative,
All that.
all that.
Yeah.
So you want to show your spouse that you appreciate being in their presence. You know, you want to every now and again go by and touch on their muscles and tell them to flex for you. Flex.
Yeah.
Y'all see that? Y'all quick, mind your business. Mind your business. But you want to make sure that you show up for your spouse in good times and bad. You want to make sure you appreciate them, show them, as well as tell them that you appreciate them. This all goes back to getting to know your partner. Can't reiterate that enough.
Yeah, and I'm 100% on board with that because we're constantly changing. You know, the older we get, you know, I'm 40, I think 41. So you know, getting older we're constantly changing. So it's like re-evolving, reinventing ourselves, maybe even deleting some things. You know, them bad habits. So I think that's very important. You guys are constantly growing, getting older. Some things are changing, moving around. So I'm 100% on board with that one. Yeah.
So I think that was that 5 tips we gave them.
Yeah, that was definitely 5 tips, and just wrapping it up on how to be present in your marriage and relationship.
Drink wine.
Say number 1 was don't neglect your marriage. Make time for each other. Pay attention to signs of hardship, doubt, insecurities. We spoke about seeking outside help if needed. And we say we talk to someone as well. So there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing to be ashamed of. Picking up the slack. If you need to jump in, if someone's having a hard day or whatever that is, just jumping in and picking up that slack. And also getting creative, being creative. Yeah.
My favorite tip number 5.
So, we hope you guys enjoyed these tips on how to be present in your marriage and in your relationship.
Yes, we do. And we hope you also will please like, follow, and share the page Ask the Kings, a relationship podcast on YouTube, Ask the Kings on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, across the board. Ask the Kings. Yeah. And we will be back on March the 27th for a special
Sunday.
Ask the Kings for National Black Marriage Day.
Yeah, they got that.
I know some of y'all were like, what? Yes, there's a national day for everything. So National Black Marriage Day is the last Sunday last Sunday in the month of March. So we will be doing a live on that day. So come prepared with your questions. Come prepared with your comments. We already have a couple of emails that have come through that we will be answering and addressing, and they chose to remain anonymous, and that's perfectly fine. If you want to remain anonymous, you can email us at askthekings@yahoo.com, and that's askthekings@yahoo.com.
All right, man. You said all that. And as always, we leave you guys with this.
Marriage and relationships are what you make it.
So remember to put in that work.